Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Approaching Steel Plaza. Please stand clear of the doors.
You are listening to Darkest Corners of the World, a Steel Plaza podcast production. Thanks for tuning in and sharing with a friend, and as always, thank you for your donations to www.paypal.me/Steel Plaza Podcast. Your donations help keep this mighty Viking vessel afloat on our voyage toward the mainland of the independent artist, and helping us navigate these dark waters with the sunstones of melodic metalcore from Roskilde, Denmark. Please welcome Serene and Anders from the band Cryosphere.
Hello.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for being here and taking the time to coordinate with us. So, can you tell us about your music? Where do you draw inspiration from to craft such a rich oral environment of sound?
Yeah, we actually draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of different sources. We are 6 people in the band that has 6 different tastes of music, and then we just draw from whatever we all think sounds good and try to combine them into one piece,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a mix between a lot of genres and a lot of ideas, and then it creates the sound that we're going with. So
Yes. Does the music come first and the vocals second?
Actually, we try a bit some different stuffs. Like sometimes it is the vocals first, and we try to make songs with that first, and other times it's the music first. So yeah, it depends on the song or how we just feel like doing in the moment,
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes I have an idea for some melody, and then I write it down, and then I give it to the boys, because it's kind of easier for me to fit my vocals into music when I do it first. But other times they write something and I just fit something into it. So it kind of depends on the situation.
Right. And with your type of music, there's so many parts to it that the vocals could literally go anywhere. So that must be a challenge for you.
Yeah, it could be a challenge sometimes, but it also makes the process just so much more fun, because you can go wherever you want to go. There's no limitations to what you want to do. So sometimes it's also a gift that we can do all the stuff that we want and put it into one song or 2 songs or something like that. That's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, it's very fluid. That's what I like about it. So there's 6 members in Cryosphere. So you guys are like the Eagles or something. I mean, that's a lot of people. Was that by design, or did you add on as you developed as a band?
That is actually by design. I was the founding member of the band, and I wanted to make music with screams, and I'm not like amazing screamer myself, so I thought I'd need someone to do that part, and that's how we ended up with 6 people.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because you don't have that type of stuff all the time with a lot of bands. Now, with the 6 people, is it a little bit of somebody stepping on each other's toes to come up with an idea, or do things pretty much come together pretty easily, almost in a non-verbal kind of way?
Yeah, the only time we step on each other's toes is in our rehearsal room, which is kind of a small room. So, but otherwise, we're actually pretty good at listening to each other and figuring out ideas. So, not yet have we been stepping on each other's toes and been vocally or verbally offensive towards each other or something like that. We've been pretty understanding when doing music together, and that's why I think that this group is also sticking together for a long time, because we just enjoy each other's company, and we make space for each other. So that's pretty cool.
That's
yeah, we're friends as well. So it's kind of, we have that respect going into it, that we respect each other's work, and that's how I think it's going to be amazing later on.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. Because if you're not friends with the other people in your band, it almost feels like you're going to a job that you don't want to go to. I've been in bands in that situation before where it's sort of like you don't even know the one guy, and it's sort of this unspoken standoffish thing where he's sort of looking at his watch and just going through the motions. So that's a great thing to be all friends on the same level.
Yeah,
and also
sorry. If you're not friends, it's hard to express what you feel about something, and it has to be an environment where you can tell the other person that you don't like this riff, or you don't like this thing, it's not good enough or something, and the other person has to take that into account without getting angry or anything. So
absolutely. And in the song creation process, emotion, I would say, is the core of the writing process, and I think you guys captured that perfectly.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done. We'll be right back here with Cryosphere after we hear from an artist from Gdańsk, Poland. This is Arshenic with their song Follow. Right back here on Darkest Corners of the World with Serene and Anders from the band Cryosphere. Now, have you ever played a show where things were simply not going correctly from the start?
Almost all of them.
It's easier to ask us if we have had any perfect shows, because then the answer would have been no, because we always go into some technical difficulties, and we have to fix that on stage, and otherwise we also try to be stopped while performing, because another band that thought they were bigger than us wanted to start a little bit earlier on another stage, and they thought that we were too loud, so they actually called and stopped us. So we've been through a lot, and none of our shows have been perfect yet. I think there's always been some sort of difficulty with sound or anything other than that. So
that was my next question. Do you have difficulties with sound when you're playing live with so many people?
Actually, yeah, we do, because there's we do have some backing tracks, and we do the vocals of us are we do a lot of different techniques into the microphone, which is set to control one part of what we're doing. Like if Serene is singing clean, and she sometimes screams a little bit, they don't add up for that sometimes, and then the sound is a bit mushy. Yeah. And I do some low fries and high fries, and it's not all the time that they cut through. Sometimes my low fries are in the bottom mix with the bass drum and the bass, and it also just sound a bit mushy. So there's a lot of difficulties. Yeah,
I've had shows multiple occasions where I could not hear myself singing at all through the monitors, and it was sort of a thing where you're just singing louder and louder, hoping that it's coming out the correct way you want it to. And those shows, interestingly enough, people have said, wow, that was your greatest show you've done,
Yeah, and you don't even know what's going on yourself.
Right.
We are very afraid of doing so, because if we, try too hard, you can actually damage your performance as well. So we are pretty afraid of pushing too much when the sound is wrong, because sometimes it's our in-ear monitors that doesn't work that well, or sometimes it's a whole other thing. So
I've never had any success with in-ear monitors. They never work for me, and I don't know why. I might be deaf in one ear. I don't know.
For us, the in-ear monitors have been a big help, because we have a lot of feeding from our mics, because they have to turn up the gain so loud on us, because our volumes are very low. And so when we have in-ear monitors, it's easier for us to hear ourselves, because they can turn it up more. So in that sense, it has been great to have them, but when they don't work, it's very, very bad, because we rely on them so much. And if we don't have them and can't hear ourselves, we push too much, as Anna said, and our voices can't handle that. So we're actually very scared of that, because it's very damaging for the voice.
Yes, I agree. We'll be right back here with Serene and Anders from Cryosphere after we hear from this next artist from Austin, Texas.